In this video, we are discussing the updates of the last week of the 1 ETH challenge. It is an NFT trading competition that is really heating up.
It's a complete disaster.
No. It's really heating up. And as usual, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and smash the subscribe button. And as always, this is not financial advice. We're not financial advisors. Clearly, we can't figure out what to do with 1 Ethereum, so definitely don't listen to us. So, gentlemen, we're 2 weeks away from the conclusion of the challenge. And I'm going to pull up Micah G's wallet. Micah G has been active as hell, taking this challenge very seriously, so I really appreciate that, Micah G. You suggested we start with your wallet, and everyone's wallet for that matter, from 7 days ago. So here we are. We see you bought a pop art cat 8 days ago, and you sold it for a quick loss, but you've done some interesting stuff since then. Why don't we talk about what you've had going on?
Yeah. So last week I was in a low place and I said, I need to start over in my journey. I need to, reconfigure my Ethereum to better places. So I think you had mentioned pop art cats is kind of a longer hold. So I was like, I'm just going to cut the loss. That cool high top I held through a snapshot in 10 KTF.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some sort of snapshot. They were saying it might be Gucci. So I'm actually still waiting on that or whatever I get from that. But I sold the item because, it's no longer useful to me, at least in the short term. And then on Not Your Bro, I was holding one Not Your Bro, got a non-rare. But then this week I was like, I'm going to hustle and I'm going to start trying to snipe rares on reveal.
Look at this snipe right here. Wow.
Yeah, so that's, it's you're scrounging, but there's how you make 500 to 600 bucks in 10 minutes is just looking at the metadata in advance. Gas prices and you have to speed up the gas and a whole bunch of extra stuff. But
that's risky, man. That's really risky because of this project dipped hard after reveal. Dipped hard, so that was risky. You had to act fast with that.
And it's important to keep this one in mind because you're going to see me paper hand some other stuff later in the week. So just understanding that my entire goal is get a rare, sell it for some profit, move on. And sometimes that means that I paper hand something that I could have made more on. But sometimes it means paper handing
Jet
something
City
that I would have
Bankers?
lost on.
What the fuck? Hell yeah.
So
dude, I'm getting alerts on these projects now, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, this has gotten... we're scraping bottom of the barrel. I don't remember
trying stuff. So this looked interesting. It was like I don't know. You could sell the rarer ones for.
You spent 0.23 on it,
no? I sniped a rare one and sold it for. So I'm just saying. I'm just gonna
imagine who bought that shit for 0.23.
And what we learned
right now.
So you can see the dip is later. I'm just trying to get rid of them because their contract was exploited and people could basically on demand mint the rarest ones. So I was like, yeah, I'm getting the hell out of this project. And I was out somewhere and I rushed home and just sold the last ones for scraps. But I at least ended up about even because of that snipe. So that was just me just trying to make moves. I'm just trying to slowly build up my Ethereum balance. I did an insta mint and then sell for 0.1 ETH on the Bobu token. I paper handed out of one of those. This Dower Darsal, I sniped it. So I sniped it for 0.21 because of I was looking at the metadata. None of them had revealed yet. And the metadata on this one looked good. It had tattoos, it had glowing eyes, and then it had a trait called Blunt. And I was like, oh, this is going to be like a cool gangster one. I didn't realize Blunt is a pink haircut. And I was like, oh, shit, this looks awful.
And you were sniping off the metadata, so you couldn't see the image, right?
So I was like, oh, Blunt, that must be like a cool gangster one with tattoos.
Yeah, those always do.
And then I was like, oh, shit. So I got right back out of it for a slight profit. Same thing with that Feline Fiends. It was like
Did you even profit on it?
No.
No. Okay, a slight loss.
You definitely lost
so you're
money
lying.
on that.
Yeah. Okay, never mind. So I lost a little bit of money on that.
Lost money on that.
I sniped a super rare in Feline Fiends, and then
dude, I just loved it. What projects weren't you in? I haven't even heard of half of these. Feline Fiends,
just wait
Cyber Lions.
I was hustling, and it
Cyber
was
legendary. Fun.
I was gaining almost no money. So
what's shocking to me is that there's actually liquidity on these projects because this is as degen as it gets. This was Nick. The reason he mentions this. Hold on. Why are you skipping over? This is Nick a year ago was in this, or last year, August, I would say, or July. I remember him tweeting about he didn't even know what he was buying. Like he was just seeing the drops for the day, would just blindly buy them. And this is what your portfolio looks like. And shockingly, you've not lost an insane amount of money. That's the thing to me that's most shocking about that.
Well, because what you do is you lose a lot of money when you actually stay in these projects. Like me, for example, buying Not Your Bro at 0.15. I just looked at today; it's 0.045. The one time I try to do something outside of my normal like trading thesis, like, oh, I'm going to do this. You know, it's a supportive project. You just get fucking wrecked. It's getting in and out quick, right, Michael? Like a lot of these, you're probably in and out same day.
It's basically not even that. Like hours. Like probably if you go like hours or minutes. It's literally I got a rare. Does this project have holding momentum? Oh, it doesn't. Get the hell back out. So like I'm just basically dipping into these projects, finding a rarer one that's like above floor or more likely to be liquid quickly, and then just saying, does this project keep the momentum? Oh, it doesn't. So all of these plays, and the same thing happened with Wanderverse. Wanderverse was a free mint from Portal, and I was like, this project looks like absolute scammy shit. But once it pumped a little bit, I sold out for profit. Now, what happened here actually is that it pumped for like a day. So I kept trading in and out, trying to get rare ones. There's like there was one point where a king revealed, so I bought it for 0.119. It was like a rare trait. So I was just playing this project, but I had no intention of staying in. But actually what happened, if you scroll up a little bit, Pio, is the next morning, it was still pumping. I then bought those, just basically sniped rare traits, and then, sold one of them for a little bit of a gain.
You did good.
Yeah. So, I mean, and in hindsight, some of those, like Loser Club, I papered, or like the Dower Darsel, I papered, but I'm just sort of like sampling these things to try to get some amount out of it. But if you scroll up a little bit to the next day, this Wanderverse keeps going.
Is it you buying a sheep fighter or selling it?
Selling it. I just need the liquidity.
Yeah.
So this is the biggest play. If you scroll out a little bit, you can see who sold me that Wanderverse. I was trying to snipe, and the floor of them was like 0.45, and I see one get listed for 0.3, and I snipe it. And then I look at who's listing it, and it's the deployer of the Wanderverse contract. So I told Portal, I was like, holy shit, they're literally just undercutting their own floor and trying to get as much money out of this. This looks sketchy as hell. So at that moment, I was like, I need to get out of this project. So I listed,
but not just get out. I need to dump.
I need to dump
idiot at a $200 profit.
This is a dangerous.
I got rugged on.
I don't want whoever got that from me. I'm sorry, but this is a dangerous.
I like that.
Hey, you didn't put a gun to their head and tell them to buy.
Our characters are transparent here. That's the one thing that's great about this. Is
I'm being
I don't know what Mike is talking about. Hey, I'm still proudly holding 2 of these. It's just an excellent hold. It's only going to keep going up.
It's gonna be like
I think they're trading at 0.00001. There's only positives coming from the Great Wanda.
You can go down. You can still drop 100% at any moment.
I'm not losing 0.3. I'm not losing 0.3 just to avoid some random other person buying it. I'm selling to willing buyers at the fair market price.
Yeah. That's literally a quote from.
It's from Jeremy
Call.
Irons. Yep. Jeremy Irons' character in whatever
Margin Call.
Yep. Yeah. Margin Call. That's
we are selling.
Yeah.
To willing buyers at a fair market
so
price.
We may survive.
so we may survive.
Yes. Okay. So then we get to my real play, which is
the Gutta Juice.
The Gutta Juice. Actually, I guess you don't have the mints on there, but I minted 3 of them.
Yeah. If I put transfers, it would have been a little bit congested.
Yeah. So I minted 3 of them, and then I just started. So the funny story that night is, so I told everyone in there, I was like, my entry price is like 0.2, 0.25. And then there was no momentum, and it gets all the way down to 0.1. And I was just like, wait a second, who is not going to pick a gutter, like getting into an ecosystem that is already established? Who's not going to pick that over some random PFP project?
Totally.
So I went all in, all I could I minted 20 on my main account. I minted 3, and then I was looking for snipes. And they had not given a reveal date, but they had said it's going to be like soonish. So late that night, I'm looking around. I'm trying to figure out what I want to snipe. And somebody in the Gutter Cat Discord says, these are revealed. And the first thing I did is I went directly to Pio's wallet, and I sniped the metadata for his, because I thought, how funny would it be if I could snipe a cat off of him at 0.195 because he listed it. He listed it unrevealed, knowing
That's right.
the cats. And I was like, how funny would that be? But it wasn't the cat. But I tried. That was the first thing I tried.
That would have been the first PvP battle of this challenge.
I was like, why did he list it for double? But the larger thesis on these, I took everything. All liquidity is going towards these. And the larger thesis for me is, and actually I sold, if you keep going up, I sold my cats on this account to buy other ones because I actually think cats are overpriced right now relative to the other ones because what people are doing is they're looking at the price of each of the floors and saying, oh, gutter cats is 5 point whatever and gutter dogs is 1.8. But like the reason gutter cats are so much more expensive than the others is because they're the original. With this new collection, I think the looks are going to hold up more. So I think a gutter dog looks better than a gutter cat if you remove the history. Yep. And so my play is I want gutter dogs and then I want whatever's on the floor. And so I basically removed all liquidity and I am all in on these basically close to reveal. Like this is the play compared to any other random bullshit project. I think their floor, if they go under 0.1, the whole market is fucked. So like they have an incredibly stable floor. It's better to join a community that already exists and is established. So this is my play. So if you look at my wallet, I have 9 gutter juices and I am just
well played
rolling the dice. Like,
I mean, it's a good play. It's really good. Your wallet is better looking than anyone else's right now, I think. I mean, we'll find out, but
definitely better than mine.
Better than mine. Mine's garbage, man. I just suck. I've been thinking about that recently in terms of, you know, I'm still living off of my board 8 trade from like all of my great trades a year ago. But I just suck. Like my whole wallet.
No, I don't think you suck at all. I've said this before. You're a great investor. Like you don't have the desire nor the patience to be like swing trading
or the
0.1 projects
so bad at it.
over 2 hours. But if this was at the beginning of a bull run and we had like 5 ETH, I'm sure you would get your 5 ETH in good.
I would have bought these gutters though yesterday
season.
when you tweeted it, Nick, and I was like, "What's the link?" I clicked the link. I'm like, "These are available," and then I'm just like, "Yeah, fuck this." Like I'm gonna go on with the rest of my day. But it's not, man. It's a complete disaster. Micah has picked up. What's interesting is that Micah's picked up some really solid items here, which I think are those gutter items after all of the other shit. You could have probably skipped all of that shit.
I was even. I was like even. Like I was sitting at about the same amount of liquid ETH after doing those 20 plays as I did when I started them. So I was just wasting time. But it turned out.
I mean, ultimately, what's crazy is whether, as Nick saying about the long-term investing versus speculating, it turns out that most often all of our wins end up coming from similar places. That if you get the great projects, those are the ones that work. Otherwise, there is some short-term speculating. I think Easy's potentially the best one at that in here, just because he's he's all on Solana.
Just snorting Adderall over there.
But it's literally
trading on 5-minute candles.
It's literally like the worst of the worst projects, and everyone in there is just like, yeah, this makes sense.
I mean, this dude was born and raised on Solana. Like, can you expect any dude? This guy, he's probably traded over 1,000 projects.
Well,
minimum.
Yeah,
minimum.
If Easy only bought actual like good shit, I think he would have just punished everybody. But look at the wallet. Look at the lives of Kevin.
Bro, I made like 4x on lives of Kevin. I'm so appreciative of the Pixelmon community. I know my bags are still packed. I love everything they're doing. Just a great team. Really worked hard for their money. Shout out to derivatives. Those got me in the gutter, and Gutter King got me out. So that's where we're at. I actually didn't even look back at those Satoshi runners.
Wait, did we go back? So, Pio,
this is 7 days ago on Easy Eats' wallet.
Okay. So is that did you buy and sell that for 50% loss there?
Well, it looks like he made
the Kevin Wonks.
Oh, the Kevin Wonks.
Yes, I took a 50% cut on that. That was fun.
White Rabbit, you got in at the right price. You probably sold to me at the top. I bought that at the top. I sold another item, bought that at 0.35.
So I bought 2 there.
Yeah, that's a buy from Easy at 0.23.
Both of those were buys.
Then
I
Bored
think I
Ape
ended up
Kevin
taking-
Club. Come on, easy. Come on, Bored Ape Kevin Club. Come on.
That was good.
that
I
was-
mean, it looks funny.
That's a good exit, though. That's a solid exit.
Oh my God. I
The
mean,
funniest
come
part
on.
about Bored Ape Kevin Club was right before I bought that, Pio sent a tweet at me. It was like, he has to be joking. And it was me buying the lives of Kevin. And I was like, I'm done buying Kevin derivatives. And then I saw this and I was like, oh, these are hilarious. Like, these are so funny.
Well, for a moment there, if you bought a derivative that had anything associated for a Bored Ape, it just went up. That was a
True.
finite time of the market. The rule no longer applies. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I honestly, it's this sort of bullshit that I fall for. It's this exact type of bullshit where I hop in the Discord and someone mentions it and I'm like,
Yeah, so I
that
sold
seems
one
like a
White
great idea.
Rabbit there for a 2x. I was
That's
still
good.
holding one.
That's good.
Those wave catchers I paper handed. That sucked. I got them cheap. They're 2.5x now.
Easy. I went to the mint site. When those were minting, and I was just like, I don't get it, and just
Yeah, so it was
got
just
off.
like they have a really good Arbitrum whitelist like marketplace. So if you're into the Magic ecosystem, that play actually makes a lot of sense, and they're getting like a lot of the small brain plays and things like that. So people are a big fan of those. I just paper handed them a little too early. I think I sold them at like 0.12, so break even, if not lost a little bit of gas. That Trover's Planet, I was happy about, still sold that too early. It's like getting used to these ranges on ETH is a lot more difficult for me because, to your point, over here snorting Adderall and slamming Solana, it's like in that 30-second window, they do a 10x and you're like, all right, I'm getting the hell out of this garbage. Whereas here, it's like it moves up a little bit, and me and Pio talked about it. Volume on ETH, like if you're like, oh, volume's flying, it's like 10 sales a minute. And on Sol, it's like 10 sales a second is slow. So I'm still trying to get used to some of this stuff.
I feel like what we're seeing is the dynamic where, ADHD is something where for a moment you're like, man, this ADHD, it turns out to be a strength. It's really helping me. It's going very well. And then suddenly like one devastating thing happens and you're like, yeah, this isn't good, man. Like I probably should get
I'm flooring everything. I'm getting the hell out of
get
here.
drugs for this. Like this isn't good.
Also,
So-
ADHD on a low wallet is the problem, right? Because if you can just forget about the stuff you bought and buy more stuff to make your have
like,
fun,
this is where
that's
it
not
went
as much an
south.
issue.
Well,
This is
how
where
did
I
the wave
shot
catchers
myself in
go?
the
Because I
foot.
saw them get up to like 0.25.
I took a
right?
loss. I basically sold for what I bought, but with fees, I went under because I just didn't want to sit on them. It was right when everyone was like, oh shit, like Russia brought up the nuke thing and we watched that like flash crash happen. So I was just like, all the prices dropped. Liquidity literally just sucked out of the ecosystem. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'm just going to exit a bunch of stuff. Like Downward Darcels could have easily 2x'd. Took a paper hand straight on that.
I'd say a nuclear
Cyber
bomb
Lions
would
was
definitely
fun.
be a worst case scenario here for the
Yeah,
NFT
like
market.
my JPEGs would just be ruined. You know?
It's not even a good joke.
Easy. Your exit on Cyber Lions was just like perfect. Like I
That
was
one worked
watching the
out well.
trades and you got it like right at the tippy top and then it went right back down.
Yeah, that one worked out really well. So that one kind of made up for it. But then those beautiful Wander verses, I actually got rugged on. So that's
So
a
it turned out to be a
0.07.
legitimate Solana level rug.
Well, yeah, like the
Way
lead Twitter
worse.
account.
At
right.
least with Solana, you buy it knowing it's probably going to rug. This one, everyone was like, oh, all right, who knows what's going to happen? And then like 5 minutes later, that deployer wallet issue, and they copy pasted the entire website.
Yeah,
So it
and
was just like, oh, this is bad.
it was such a big issue that NFT World's team, because part of what's happening is that like if you just associate a project as like being on NFT Worlds, you get this, FOMO buying in effect.
boost.
Yeah, and because of this being such a bad rug, like the NFT Worlds team said, like going forward, they're going to like vet out
Yeah.
projects and give them kind of like official partner stamps. People can
Oh,
still
shit,
launch
'cause
without
They
NFT
them.
World-
retweeted. NFT Worlds
Yes.
retweeted this project's announcement as
Yes.
if they knew that that's one of our partners. Like that's what I got from the retweet.
Wow.
And then they came out and were like, hey, we're basically just going to like audit these projects and make sure
Dude.
this stuff doesn't happen again.
This is a minefield that we're just walking through here. And
Yeah.
and the same thing goes with our sponsorships where like afterwards we're like, oh, what? Like that project did some like they were
Maybe isn't it?
they were like 90% ethical, like it's this sort of weird thing. Or they're like they have the intention to be good, but then like just make all of the wrong moves. This one sounds like it was just a flat
An actual
out
rug.
full rug though. Like they were there to just rob people's money.
Look
yeah.
at you
that
buying
was really the
loser
only goal.
clubs at look at this, buying loser clubs at 0.1. Beautiful.
So that was
beautiful.
immediately
Now let's see
after
where he sold
they
them.
hit. It was like 0.14, like same thing. Oh, actually a little bit better, 0.17 for each of those. So that one I just threw pricing on and forgot about. Yeah, so I minted three gutter
Minted gutter
juices, or
juice,
two. I
yeah.
minted 2 gutter juices, a dog and a cat. So talk about just hitting an absolute
Dude.
home run.
Sorry, I
Sold
didn't mean to
those. I'm
interrupt.
right back in the race. I'm sitting right now on a nice 0.3 liquid. If you want to look at my actual wallet, while you guys were talking through Micah's wallet, I was actually minting another project while you guys were all distracted. So I was taking advantage of the situation and buying things. So if you want to take a look at the actual wallet, they just minted out super ordinary villains, and I got 3 of those just now.
SOV.
Yeah.
So look at this wallet. I mean,
It's pretty
we got
good. It's
a
pretty
couple
good.
confirmed rugs right here. What is the BBs? I've heard people talking about the BBs.
So Habibis is another project that it's like I guess people really like their alpha. It's their 0.77 floor. This was their companion,
Some
and
of the
yeah, people
best
are,
racist alpha in the whole game.
oh, absolutely right. So this was their companion drop. Gas got up to 4,000 Gwei. I got that on secondary, overpaid for it, so now I'm just kind of sitting on it.
I think that
minted those
Manic
Manic
Mania is
Manias.
really going to make a comeback.
So that was a free mint. Gas was optimized. That cost me like $10 to get 5. It's from some guy named Albie, who's I guess relatively big on Twitter, and his last project pumped up to 0.4. So I was basically just playing it for any potential pump, and then everyone was calling for a bear market. So they died way faster than anything else. And at this point, I'm just kind of taking gambles here. I got that drug receipts, which the Discord was hyped about. I don't even think it's sold out yet, so I'm probably screwed on that. I got the 3 super ordinary villains, which just sold out. People are bullish on the artwork. We'll see what happens with those. And now people are airdropping me these Kevin MFers and whatever that crocodile is. So I got like 4 things sent to me just now from the Discord.
You got to hide
See who
those.
sent those. I know I have to right now.
Well, easy. The best thing in your whole wallet is from the Relief UKR drop because at least it's by an actual artist. Everything else is Solana status in terms of the stuff. But I mean, you've been moving and shaking, and you did buy some good stuff and sell it for gains. So great job. Why don't we check out, I guess, mine?
I was gonna say mine because there was one thought that I had here, Pia.
Well, I just have a question, Nick. Before we go to Pia, did you make a trade this week?
Not in my 1 ETH challenge wallet.
So why are we going to you? What updates are we sharing?
There's one story. Check out nixnfts.eth. Pull up that wallet, which is not the 1 ETH challenge one. You can check out the 1 ETH challenge one as well, but there's a relevant thing here which made me just think that what I should have done, and there's another one of these NFTs coming if you click on this profile. So if you go to, there's a Justin Aversano somewhere in here. Scroll down. And there you go, Justin
There it is.
Aversano. See, now that to me would have been all that I needed.
You bought that for 0.21?
Yeah, so that's
How-
all that
how?
that's all that Justin just gave it to me. So all I needed was that one thing to happen,
Dude,
and
get outta here.
I would have destroyed everyone here. So I should have put that in the 1 ETH wallet. That's what I'm thinking about. That happened to me in the past week or so, and so I just thought I'd throw that in your face and make you realize that I still am one of the greatest. And I want everyone here to recognize that, okay? I mean, not much action on the 1 ETH challenge wallet. Is that my wallet?
This is mine,
Did
Bozo.
you forget the password to your 1 ETH challenge wallet? Because after week 1, it looks like you haven't even logged in.
No, I have it. But it's, someone said that story wasn't great. All right, let's
Tell
move
'em I
on to
agree.
Pio. Hey, Edgar, thanks for that.
So if you look at mine, right, I did a nice top buy on a Crocolypse to try to neutralize Captain Kicks because he got that pick right, and it's by the paperhands.gg guy. So I was like, all right, cool, I'll buy this.
Ironically, funny enough, I had already exited Croc by the time that he had bought this, so there was no neutralization happening.
Well, I probably should have checked that. So I took a nice 0.15 ETH loss there. Wow, I'd be in so much better shape if I hadn't done that. And then I bought Dor Darcells at 32, shipped it at 41, which is I think probably a negligible gain. Maybe it's like, 0.02 ETH or something.
What is that
after-
in USD? Like $300?
150.
It's so hard. You have to
I
basically
mean, pre-gas, pre-everything.
Well, you can
You
see
have-
it right there, 877, then 115.
Yeah. So
but
even
yeah,
that alone, like,
after fees, you probably made 130.
why?
yeah.
More people should be on Solana. That's like a good 3.5 SOL return. Like that's an honest, good, hard working profit.
Yeah, the thing is that it's actually really hard to get the calculations. You have to do Etherscan. If you want to know truly how much it is, the only way to figure it out is actually Etherscan. That's the only way to get the true numbers because it shows you exactly what went in and what came out. Then I picked up the Loser Club at 0.2, and I had it listed at 0.3142 or something, and Loser Club went to 0.3. So if I had listed it at like 0.2942 or something, I would have gotten that sale and that would have been more profit. That would have been really good. So I fumbled the bag on that. I bought this right as it was starting to pump. I cut the Pop Art Cats for a loss. Sheet Fighter is either break even or super negligible gain. Loser Club, yeah, I ended up selling it for basically taking a loss, right? So best move was the Dar sells. Other than that, all these trades really are break even or slight losses. Definitely a tough go of it. And what's in the wallet now? I see someone airdrop me some BS, so let me go ahead and hide that. See you later. But Look Labs is at 0.45 while Look Labs is
That thing's
running.
flying right now too. We got 2 more days to go too. So I'm
why it's
hyped
up,
for my
right?
personal wallet.
Why?
Because Nick floored
Because
his.
Josh just bought all of them.
No, I think he was saying he bought looks rare. You know what I mean?
No.
With the
The
token?
Looks token.
You're positive he bought this?
He said Lux Labs, and he spent $50,000 on it. He said bought 10 passes plus an OG pass.
Got it. Well, good job, Josh.
That's why the price is what you should be doing. He told us that's in the DM thread. You should have sold it directly to him so you could just hurry up and take this gain.
No, I mean, because I've been long this project. We've been waiting for the buds to drop or whatever. Here we are. There's still 2 weeks in the contest. This is going to be interesting. And then I have this Gutter Juice that's listed at 0.1969 and this stupid Sheet Fighter, which, I mean, look, I'm still holding them in my real wallet, but I just don't see them, I don't see them moving
Not in
right
the next
now.
2 weeks. Like
Yeah.
it's not a
I should
2
have
week
sold those at 0.2. I'd be looking good.
Exactly.
On that note, though, we all have to get fully back to liquid by the end of the challenge, correct? Because like this floor price stuff does not take into account the
Undercutting.
Fees, the 10%.
fees, the
cut
undercutting.
15% off.
Like you got to be fully liquid by
Yeah.
the end of the challenge.
For sure. For sure.
Shit.
But what if I want to keep something? That's the thing. Like, what if I do I sell it to myself for floor? Like, do I
Maybe-
give it to myself?
We can't open that up. Nick will exploit that.
What if we go like
exactly.
30?
Exactly.
What about you can have 30% off the floor price and just keep it? Like I'll let you keep it in the wallet, but like you got to take a massive haircut off the floor price when we're doing the calculation.
Why not just sell it and then buy another one in your actual wallet if you want it so bad? Like why not?
Because then you're just giving up like 10% to the gas fees and the marketplace fees.
You're giving up 30% to the competition with what Micah just said.
I just
Yeah,
think we have to have some
competition's
sort
all
of
meant to-
punishment if you're not actually going to turn it liquid, because like that's part of the
Yeah.
challenge.
I don't know. Well, we'll have to see. Real quick, I just wanted to shout out to everyone that if you are trading NFTs and you don't want to worry about gas and you want gasless transactions, then you should probably register with FTX, who sponsors our shows. So FTX, probably the best crypto exchange, let's be real. Super low fees for buying and selling cryptocurrency like Ethereum, hint, hint, and gasless transactions for NFTs. That sounds a lot like Solana, even though it's on ETH too. Nick, do you have anything to add about FTX?
Well, I was just going to say, you know what makes them really the best crypto exchange?
What?
They sponsor the show and give us cold, hard cash. So while I'm losing money on this show, we're making money. And so that's what people don't understand. We make money to make the worst trades ever so that you can watch them, follow us along, lose money with us, but you end up poor and we end up rich. And that's one of my favorite parts of the dynamics of this show and the sponsorship. So if you want to help us get rich and you stay poor, check out the nifty.com/FTX.
Yeah, point down to it. Let
Literally,
people know.
literally, so you realize like we're going to get this sponsorship's going to be done. And they're going. Someone is asking me how much they paid them. I didn't, or they paid us. I didn't tell them because it's absurd. It's an absurd number. You know, the 16-year-old
Billions.
version of myself is thinking, how the fuck did we pull this off? Just go to the nifty.com/FTX and help us feel better about ourselves. You know?
Guys, breaking news: 10KTF announced official partnership. Gucci, some sort of NFT mintable for 10KTF snapshot and grail holders.
Wasn't that
Also,
announced?
breaking news: Beanie's released a PFP of what Look Games is, and said that it is Putin inspired. So that's gonna age great. I wish I was
tweet
kidding.
that?
Kicking off
Wow.
free mint season with this Putin-inspired P2E from Looks.Lab, and it says Endgame with a demon drinking vodka on a large chair.
Wow.
Thanks, Beanie.
Well, hey, he knows what's going on. Interesting. So we're gonna move on to the legend, the sophisticated art speculator himself.
Do we want more breaking news? We
Yeah.
should just do breaking news
please.
after breaking news. There's some like shit in DC that they announced about crypto. Back to you.
Like, good? Bad?
Well, they
It's
said
not
they
bad.
Want to become yeah, it's actually pretty good. They want to have a stronger hand in it. I'm interested.
Yeah,
to
which
see
is what
happens.
people want. I spoke with my friend at one of the top lobbying firms for crypto. There's not many of them. They're called the Blockchain Association. And I was chatting with them. I texted him last night, and I was like, can you give me any visibility? And he said, yes, it's not bad. And so that's sort of the assessment of where we're at this point in time. Is it's not bad. So not bad is better than awful.
Captain Kicks, is this your wallet?
Yeah.
You might need to put on transfers. It seems like he just hasn't sold anything in.
Yeah. Here's
In
the
a while.
transfers too.
What have you been doing over there, Captain Kicks?
Just sitting around with no fucking liquidity and shit projects. How about you?
Watching my good projects cut their price in half. So going from 800K down to 400K is what we've done so far in the past few weeks.
Yeah.
Loving it.
Basically, last week I tried to make some moves. I bought Not Your Bro. Everything inside me said probably not to do it, but I just like felt like maybe this is one of those narrative plays that works out. Down 70% on those, so that's rough. Satoshi Runners honestly has held up well. I don't feel fantastic
Surprisingly well.
about them, but they've been holding up surprisingly well. So I have one of those down on that, but not Your Bro level down. The Atari rug was rough. You know, that definitely hurt. And one of the problems is that like I get into these mediocre projects, they don't really move. So if I sell, I'm just slowly killing myself on fees. And then I also don't have like the liquidity to make, you know, the good moves when they
When they pop up.
materialize.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, that's one of the problems. I mean, for our next challenge, I'm definitely going to take a much different approach where I'll probably like max allow myself to spend like half the wallet
In one
like,
shot.
yeah, or just even in the first 2 weeks, and just like try to be disciplined about having like a half ETH of liquid always on the table. And, you know, if I make a trade with that half ETH, like getting out of it quick and just, you know, keeping that level of liquidity. But yeah, I minted a gutter juice. I would have loved to have been able to mint like 3 or 4, but I'm sitting in a bunch of shitty bags, but at least that's up 2x. So now I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, do I sell the gutter juice and like, it sounds so bad to say, get back to 0.2 ETH liquidity and try for another Hail Mary opportunity this week. But I've basically slowly whittled myself down to not having very many options. And honestly, that's probably a lot of people's stories in NFTs is over trading with not that much money. And it's just you slowly kill yourself just with not making like even the gutter juice 2x. It's not going to offset the Not Your Bro trade. You know what I mean? Because I need 0.2 profit just to get back to break even on those.
Dude, that gift shop.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that gift
god, that's
shop.
the
Dude.
worst.
Yeah, dude, that just
That
broke
was
my heart.
bad.
Well, think about it. I actually dodged a bullet. I bought 4 of those out the gate.
Yeah.
In the 1 ETH challenge. So luckily I got rid of 3 of them, else that would have just been a complete KO for me. But yeah, I mean, I think looking forward now, my plan is I'll probably flip the gutter juice, get some liquidity back, and then I basically just have to hit like 3 or 4 home runs just to get back to 1 ETH. And it you know, at least save my skin a little bit. But I mean, for me, the challenge it has been very insightful. Like both for having like, you know, how to break out of like the 1 ETH barrier. I was talking with Easy about it. And when we first started, maybe a week or 2 into the challenge, you know, Quirkies came out and you could have got them. I love that project. It just looked new and a little bit, you know, unique. And if you had just bought all of that and just did nothing,
I had 3 of them.
Yeah, you'd be
if each.
If Easy just held those 3, he'd be at 3+ ETH in the challenge. He'd be like winning the challenge by a long stretch. And that just goes to show that like one good project can make all of the difference. But if you think about the environment that we've created for just the 5 of us, of like the urgency feeling to move quick just to keep up with the other person causes you to overtrade.
Yes.
And imagine that FOMO effect when you're in a community like Portal Chat, you know, and you have 5,000 people that you're seeing them make wins left and right and all these quick trades. It can create this feeling
that chat
like,
is mad.
Yeah, that I have to be making like 5 trades a day to get myself out. When in reality, if you make one good trade, you can make one good trade and you can outperform like daily traders by a huge.
I think that gutter thing was that opportunity to me. That like the reality is those types of trades don't come around.
They don't
that
materialize.
often.
And I'm sitting on 0.15 ETH. Looking at the opportunity,
yeah.
And
Same
you can't instantly sell my other stuff. So it's not like I could have instantly gotten up to 0.3 and just aped in on like, you know.
So me and Mike are kind of lucked out having a
2
little bit more.
And that's
gutter. Well,
yeah, that's the crazy about. Oh god.
The gutter. I know, my bad. The gutter one was good because it was a mint opportunity, which means you can get rares, right? So that's huge. It's an established brand in the space, and it was cheap. It was 0.1. So that's basically the opportunity everyone was looking for. You weren't able to mint Loser Club. There was a gas war. You weren't able to mint like, you know, any of the good projects that came out recently. For some reason, Gutter Cat hit the floor of the Dutch auction and you could just casually go and mint it for 0.1 and pay like 0.02 for gas, you know?
And what I was gonna say is
that Dutch auction. Oh, go ahead.
Well, what I was gonna say is it was a really interesting situation. Like I think Gutter kind of screwed themselves with the way that they did the mint pricing, because there's this phenomenon where like as price is going up, everyone suddenly thinks like, oh, this art is way better than I thought it was, or this project roadmap is way better than I thought it was. Like the price ends up sort of dictating the feeling in the community, at least short term. And so something about starting at 0.9 and then watching for hours as nobody bought suddenly brought the sentiment on it down to a 0.1. But like if they had just released at 0.25, that would have been an instant sellout. Like everyone would be like, oh my God, 0.25 to join the Gutter Cat ecosystem. Let me do it. So the only reason we got in at 0.1 was because they had started so high and you saw hours of people just sort of clowning on, oh, no one's buying. So it was like not only the situation of like, this is a good project to get into, but the way they did it, although it kind of screwed them over, like the way they did it created this entry point that was just like in hindsight a no-brainer.
Insane. The price still is pretty insane. Like it's generally pretty low. And when you think of like Mutant Ape Yacht Club, I mean, what's crazy is how they've decided to go over and oversupply this and basically copy Mutant Ape Yacht Club with a slight modification to it. It's a little odd that they decided to go that way. But that said, they have great art. In general, that team historically has had great art. The community has been solid. The only thing that's weird to me, though, at this point is I don't buy for the vast majority of things outside of Nifty Portal, which you should go and grab one. Most of the communities to me are not even communities. And so it's rare the ones that are, primarily because like when you think of like Bored Ape Yacht Club, for example, there's not a group of leaders in there that are the ones creating the content on a regular basis. Herb is one of them that was really active in the Discord. but I can't think of like anywhere, like for us, this is all we do is like create the content, show up in the community. We have like a family there basically. But I don't know. It just doesn't feel like for a lot of them, what you're paying for is access to essentially the past, like the past reputation that community created. And we want to go, I mean, we all want to go back to last February, March, April, May, because we would all be
Rich.
billionaires now if we were able to go back and make all those different trades. It's just hard at this point. I don't know. Personally, I feel a lot of saturation on the PFP side of things. I feel art is more compelling to me at the moment, but I think it's also sort of difficult to figure out like what access can people really provide you that's truly going to make you feel like that was a worthwhile thing. And I'm limited with the number of answers that I can provide to that question, which is just on a macro level really concerning. Like it's really
I think this is an anti-saturation play though, because it's like people are going to start to come into a few communities and say, I want known PFPs. I want a few known PFPs where everyone is like, oh, I have a cat, you have a cat, I have a cool cat, you have a mutant, I have an ape. Like, I think there's going to be a lot of dying projects because you're the only one on your timeline rocking that community. And so like, even just as a PFP, I think that releasing this like massive, it's 28,000 extra supply. I think it does hurt the floor prices of their parent collections, but I think that like it's going to normalize at some spot. And the idea that there's an entry point to a PFP community where everyone, or at least most people in the space, will recognize your profile picture puts it ahead of almost every other project that is just randomly minting that no one's heard of. Like if you can be part of and have a profile picture of the project, I think that survives the winter way better than 90% of other stuff. So that's my play there is like, it might not survive, but like at 0.1, it is an absolute no brainer.
Someone said I can't take Nick's market take based on his 1 ETH challenge performance, and that's a fair take. It's a fair take. You're welcome. You're entitled to that opinion. Yeah. What's going on? You look sort of in despair, Nick, wondering what's going on in your life.
I'm doing great. I thought the gutter cat mint was interesting because of how like the market obviously has like removed a lot of FOMO and is now like kind of being smart again with like when things are good buys. You know what I mean? Like it got all the way down to like 0.17 and there was like 300 minted. You know what I mean? Like almost all of the minting happened 0.12 and below. So for me, as like a pulse check on the community, I felt like that was like a really good sign. I also personally think that they probably would have made more money if they did a Dutch auction from 0.25 down to 0.1 over the same time horizon.
Insta sellout.
Exactly. Versus 0.9. So when you're at a project, like when you look from the project perspective, like there's sometimes a downside from stretching the Dutch auction too high because you want to actually like tighten the range, and they probably would have sold out, as Micah said, instant, or they would have sold out like 0.15 because it would have created a different minting dynamic. So I thought that was interesting as well. I do think that I completely agree with you that I think like PFPs in general are saturated. I do think that the interesting thing about NFTs, especially like 10K or less projects, is that you don't need the whole NFT community to like buy into a certain specific project for it to do well. You really just need 4,000, 5,000 people that really like the project. And there's a ton of new people being onboarded every day. So I still think we're going to see like concentrated big wins, even in a bear market on certain these things. Because all you need is 5,000 other people like Quirkies, right? You just need 5. And they did, what I love about Quirkies is they did a 5,000 supply. So they only needed 3,000 people to really like the project and get behind it for it to go all the way up to a 1 ETH floor. So I think we're going to still see a ton of those opportunities on the horizon. And I've said this before, like you can be in a bear market and there can still be a ton of opportunities. I think someone mentioned in our Discord that like during the last big pullback, like was when Wolf Game took off like a rocket and was one of the best trades in 21 to make. So there's still going to be a lot of opportunities on the horizon. I've started to nibble more from my personal wallet I do agree with Nick though that I think that there is ample opportunity for some sort of meta shakeup in terms of like what the general community is interested in, whether it's art, whether it's a new type of utility, whether it's a different style of profile pics that come out.
Betting on games.
I'm betting on games. That's a great place to bet. There's going to probably be a shakeup. I do think that PFPs in general are getting a little bit more saturated. And logically, the whole PFP thing, it's really not PFPs. It's really collectibles, right? Because you can't call them PFPs if someone has 100 in their wallet and they only use one as their profile pic and the other 99 just sit there. That's more of a collectible than a PFP to me. But I think the past couple of days on the market has been good. I mean, the numbers still look like really bad. If you pull up the
volume is garbage.
The volume is really bad. I mean, there's no way that you can try to, sugarcoat that. Yesterday we came in at 59 million. The day before we came in at 59 million. Today's looking strong. Today we'll probably get up to like 76, 80 million. So that's good to see. But
well, I know a lot of people were sitting on the sidelines because they were waiting for whatever that potential executive order was, and people now saying that it's not as bearish as they anticipated. I think some people are finally kind of easing on that and feeling a little bit more comfortable not converting to USDC, not converting other things, and actually deploying it back, especially with the range we've seen on some of them.
None of the policy stuff has anything even to do with NFTs at this point in time.
It's the underlying asset, though. I still think that speculation comes into play.
Yeah, crypto is the key thing. But yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, they're so far from being able. They haven't. We haven't regulated crypto.
There's no context.
Like so far down the road at this point, or like I don't know. It's just there's a long way to go. I don't know that those macro things. It's really like, what do you want to be trading when the world ends? And I'm gonna go with NFTs. So that's what I'm voting on over stocks, bonds, commodities, and crypto.
Bury me with my pictures.
I
also am actively selling things right here. I just took profit on 2 Looks Labs at 0.5.
How many do you have?
I'm down to 3 across 2 wallets.
Okay.
So I'm playing because I think we're gonna pull back towards closer to 0.4. That 0.5 wall is not really thick, but I'm right now just looking to kind of sell into every pump because I don't think we're in a bull market by any means. So I'm looking to just take profits. I'm actually selling the full set of the gutter juices I have too on my personal wallet.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching our 1 ETH challenge recap. Seems like we've got some interesting activity. I'm not in first place anymore. That's a shocker.
I'm already preparing for season 2 at this point. I'm sure Nick is as well.
Hey, didn't somebody say Solana challenge, but easy starts with 5 Solana and we have 20?
No,
that's actually hilarious.
Right? no one has
still
time
put
for
my
that.
money on easy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be like, easy. What am I minting here?
Yeah, exactly. Is there a ninja alerts for Solana?
Yeah, that's like if we all played basketball except Easy's a hockey player, and then it's like we'll play hockey, but Easy's down 5 goals. Like he's still gonna whip our ass. Like come on, you know.
All right, 1
you haven't
Solana.
seen me
He
play
gets
hockey.
1 Solana.
All right, gang.